From the depths of the ocean to the vast reaches of space, and even some quirky corners of everyday life, these incredible truths are guaranteed to make you question everything you thought you knew. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed, because truth really is stranger than fiction.
The Sahara Desert, one of the hottest and most arid places on Earth, is known for its extreme temperature fluctuations. While daytime temperatures can soar above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, nighttime temperatures can drop dramatically, sometimes reaching freezing levels. This drastic change occurs due to the desert's unique climate, geography, and lack of moisture in the air. One of the main reasons for these extreme temperature shifts is the low humidity in the Sahara. Deserts typically have very little water vapor in the atmosphere, which means they lack the ability to retain heat. During the day, the sun's intense radiation heats up the sand and rocks, causing scorching temperatures. However, once the sun sets, there is nothing to trap the heat, so it quickly radiates back into the atmosphere, leading to rapid cooling. Another factor contributing to the freezing nighttime temperatures is the lack of cloud cover. In more humid climates, clouds act as insulation, helping to retain some of the heat absorbed during the day. In the Sahara, clear skies allow for an uninterrupted escape of heat, causing temperatures to plummet overnight. Although freezing temperatures are not a daily occurrence, they are common in certain areas of the Sahara, especially during the winter months. Some regions, particularly in higher elevations, have even recorded snowfall, a rare but not unheard of phenomenon. In 1979, for instance, a brief snowstorm was reported in southern Algeria, and in recent years, parts of the Sahara have experienced occasional light snow. Despite these cold nights, desert animals and plants have adapted to survive these extreme conditions. Many desert creatures, such as fennec foxes and jerboas, are nocturnal, meaning they rest during the scorching day and become active at night when temperatures are cooler. Some plants, like cacti and succulents, store water to endure both the heat of the day and the chill of the night. In summary, the Sahara Desert's ability to reach freezing temperatures at night is a direct result of its dry climate, lack of moisture, and clear skies. These extreme temperature swings create a harsh yet fascinating environment where life has evolved to withstand both the intense heat of the day and the unexpected cold of the night.
Canada is home to approximately 60% of the world's polar bear population, making it the most important habitat for these iconic Arctic predators. With an estimated 16,000 of the global 26,000 polar bears residing in Canadian territory, the country plays a crucial role in their conservation and survival. These majestic creatures primarily inhabit the coastal areas of the Arctic, where they rely on sea ice to hunt, travel, and raise their young. The majority of Canada's polar bears are found in Nunavut, Manitoba, the Northwest Territories, Quebec, and Ontario, with notable populations along Hudson Bay, Baffin Island, and the Beaufort Sea. One of the most famous polar bear hotspots is Churchill, Manitoba, often called the polar bear capital of the world. Each fall, hundreds of polar bears gather near the town, waiting for the sea ice to form so they can begin their annual seal hunting season. This migration attracts thousands of tourists and researchers eager to observe the bears in their natural habitat. Polar bears are highly dependent on sea ice, which they use as a platform to hunt their primary prey, seals. They are uniquely adapted to Arctic conditions, with thick fur, a layer of insulating fat, and large pores that help them navigate the icy terrain. However, climate change poses a significant threat to their survival. Rising global temperatures are causing the Arctic ice to melt at an alarming rate, reducing the time polar bears can spend hunting and forcing them to travel greater distances in search of food. This has led to increasing instances of malnutrition, lower birth rates, and more frequent encounters between polar bears and humans as the bears venture inland in search of sustenance. Canada has implemented various conservation efforts to protect its polar bear populations. These include hunting regulations, habitat protection, and partnerships with indigenous communities who have traditionally coexisted with polar bears and play a key role in conservation efforts. Many indigenous groups, such as the Inuit, hold deep cultural and spiritual connections with polar bears and advocate for sustainable management practices that balance conservation with traditional hunting rights. In summary, Canada's vast Arctic landscapes provide a critical habitat for the majority of the world's polar bears. While the country is leading efforts to protect these animals, the ongoing challenges of climate change and habitat loss highlight the urgent need for continued conservation and global action to ensure the survival of this magnificent species.
The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest ocean on Earth, covering an area of approximately 63 million square miles, which is about 165 million square kilometers. This makes it larger than all the land masses on Earth combined, which collectively total about 57.5 million square miles or 149 million square kilometers. In other words, if all the continents were put together, they would still not match the sheer size of the Pacific Ocean. This immense body of water spans from the Arctic in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south and stretches between the continents of Asia, Australia, North America and South America. The Pacific Ocean plays a critical role in regulating the planet's climate, as it covers nearly 1/3 of Earth's surface. Its vast expanse absorbs and distributes heat, helping to moderate global temperatures and influence weather patterns. The ocean is home to some of the most significant climate phenomena, including El Niño and La Niña, which affect global rainfall, hurricanes, and agricultural cycles. Additionally, the Pacific's deep waters store a significant amount of carbon dioxide, making it an essential component of Earth's carbon cycle. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Pacific is its depth. The ocean contains the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans, which plunges down to about 36,000 feet or 11,000 meters in the Challenger Deep. This depth is so extreme that if Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on Earth, were placed inside the trench, it would still be submerged by more than a mile of water. The Pacific also contains thousands of islands, including entire nations such as Hawaii, the Philippines and Fiji, as well as some of the most remote places on Earth. Historically, the Pacific Ocean has been vital for human exploration, trade and cultural exchange. Ancient Polynesians navigated its vast waters using the stars, winds and ocean currents, settling islands thousands of miles apart. Later, European explorers such as Ferdinand Magellan crossed the Pacific during the Age of Exploration, leading to increased global trade and interaction. Today, the Pacific remains a major economic and geopolitical region, with its waters supporting global shipping routes, fisheries and vast natural resources. Despite its size and significance, the Pacific Ocean faces numerous environmental challenges, including climate change, overfishing and pollution. One of the most well-known ecological concerns is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a massive accumulation of plastic debris caught in the ocean's currents. Rising sea levels also threaten many low-lying Pacific islands, putting their inhabitants at risk of displacement. In summary, the Pacific Ocean is a vast and crucial part of our planet, covering more area than all the continents combined. It influences global climate, supports diverse marine life, and has played a key role in human history. However, its immense size does not make it immune to environmental threats, highlighting the need for global efforts to protect and preserve this incredible ocean for future generations.
Russia, the largest country in the world by land area, spans a staggering 11 time zones, making it the most time zone-spanning nation on Earth. Stretching across over 5,600 miles, or 9,000 kilometers, from its westernmost point in Kaliningrad to its easternmost point near the Bering Strait, Russia covers nearly half of the planet's longitudinal span. This vast expanse means that when one part of the country is experiencing sunrise, another may be in the middle of the night. The 11 time zones of Russia range from Kaliningrad time, which is UTC+2 in the west, to Kamchatka time, which is UTC+12 in the far east. Major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg follow Moscow time, which is UTC+3, while regions in Siberia and the Russian Far East, such as Vladivostok and Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, observe much later time zones. This wide geographical spread presents logistical challenges, as businesses, government operations, and communication between different regions must accommodate significant time differences. Historically, Russia had more than 11 time zones, but in 2010, the government reduced the number to 9 to simplify administration. However, in 2014, some of the eliminated time zones were restored, bringing the count back to 11. The country does not observe daylight saving time, after abandoning the practice in 2011, keeping its clocks consistent year-round. The sheer number of time zones affects everyday life in Russia in unique ways. For example, when financial markets open in Moscow, traders in the Russian Far East have already ended their workday. Similarly, travelers moving across the country by the Trans-Siberian Railway, which takes about a week to cross Russia, experience multiple time changes along their journey. Even national television programming and sports broadcasts must carefully account for the vast time differences between regions. Despite the challenges, Russia's 11 time zones reflect its immense geographic and cultural diversity, from the bustling metropolises of Moscow and St. Petersburg to the remote wilderness of Siberia and the Pacific coastline. The country's time zones represent its vast and varied landscape. Russia's unique position as a bridge between Europe and Asia makes it a fascinating example of how time and geography shape a nation's identity and daily life.
The Nile River is one of the most famous and historically significant rivers in the world. Stretching approximately 4,135 miles, it is often considered the longest river on Earth, though some debate exists regarding whether the Amazon River might be longer. The Nile flows through 11 countries in northeastern Africa, including Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Uganda, before emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. Despite originating from sources in Central and Eastern Africa, the Nile follows a northward course, which is unusual as most major rivers tend to flow southward or eastward due to gravitational pull and land elevation patterns. The Nile's northward flow is primarily due to the topography of Africa. The river originates from high-altitude sources such as Lake Victoria and the Ethiopian highlands and moves toward lower elevations in the north. While many people assume that rivers always flow south, the truth is that rivers simply follow the path of least resistance, moving from higher to lower elevations rather than adhering to a specific cardinal direction. Since the land in East and Central Africa is significantly higher than the terrain near the Mediterranean, the Nile naturally flows northward. Another unique aspect of the Nile is its immense historical and cultural significance. Ancient Egypt, one of the world's greatest civilizations, relied heavily on the river for agriculture, trade, and daily life. The predictable annual flooding of the Nile deposited nutrient-rich silt onto the surrounding land, making it incredibly fertile for farming. This agricultural prosperity enabled the rise of Egypt's great cities, temples, and pyramids, and the river was deeply ingrained in Egyptian mythology and religion. The Nile River consists of two major tributaries, the White Nile and the Blue Nile. The White Nile, considered the primary and longer branch, originates in East Africa, while the Blue Nile, which provides the majority of the river's water and sediment, starts in the Ethiopian highlands. The two rivers converge in Khartoum, Sudan, and continue their journey northward as a single mighty river. Despite its historical importance, the Nile faces numerous modern challenges, including disputes over water rights, climate change, and pollution. Countries along its path, especially Egypt, Sudan, and Ethiopia, have been engaged in tense negotiations regarding the construction of dams, such as the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, which has raised concerns about water access and agricultural sustainability in downstream nations. Ultimately, the Nile's northward flow is a fascinating geographical anomaly, but more importantly, it has been a lifeline for civilizations for thousands of years. Its waters have shaped history, supported countless communities, and continue to play a crucial role in the economy and survival of millions of people today.
Antarctica has no official time zone, making it one of the most unique places on Earth in terms of timekeeping. Unlike other continents, which are divided into distinct time zones based on longitudinal divisions, Antarctica lacks a permanent human population and does not belong to any single country. Because of this, there is no universally recognized time zone assigned to the continent. Instead, timekeeping in Antarctica is determined by the research stations and expeditions operating there, each of which follows a time zone based on convenience rather than geography. One of the main reasons Antarctica lacks an official time zone is its location at the South Pole, where lines of longitude converge. This means that technically every time zone on Earth exists in Antarctica at once. However, since Antarctica is largely uninhabited except for scientists and researchers, it does not follow a structured time system like other continents. Instead, different research stations and bases use time zones based on their home countries or the locations from which they receive supplies. For example, the McMurdo Station, operated by the United States, follows New Zealand Standard Time because supply flights often come from Christchurch, New Zealand. Another factor that complicates timekeeping in Antarctica is its extreme day-night cycles. During the Antarctic summer, which runs from October to March, the continent experiences 24 hours of daylight. Conversely, in the Antarctic winter, from April to September, it faces months of continuous darkness. Because of this, traditional timekeeping based on the movement of the sun becomes meaningless. It's more practical for research stations to align with their home countries or logistical hubs. Different countries operating in Antarctica set their own time zones for their research stations. For example, Argentina and Chile use UTC-3, while Russia's Vostok station follows Moscow Standard Time, which is UTC +3 or +5, depending on daylight saving time in Russia. Some stations adjust their clocks to match nearby supply bases, while others stick to Coordinated Universal Time or UTC to avoid confusion. The lack of an official time zone in Antarctica has minimal impact on daily operations, as scientific research and expeditions follow schedules set by their respective organizations. However, it does create an interesting anomaly in global timekeeping, making Antarctica one of the few places on Earth where time is entirely subjective and flexible.
Greenland is a fascinating geographical anomaly because it extends farther north, south, east and west than Iceland, making it unique in its positioning. At first glance, this may seem counterintuitive, given that both Greenland and Iceland are relatively close in the North Atlantic. However, Greenland's sheer size, it is the world's largest island, allows it to stretch across a vast range of latitudes and longitudes, surpassing Iceland in all four cardinal directions. Greenland's northernmost point is Cape Morris Jesup, which lies at 83.6 degrees north, just 440 miles from the North Pole. In contrast, Iceland's northernmost point, Kolbeinsey, is located at 67.1 degrees north, far to the south. This difference is significant as it places Greenland much closer to the Arctic and within the realm of extreme polar conditions, while Iceland remains relatively milder due to the warming influence of the Gulf Stream. Although Greenland is often associated with the Arctic, its southernmost tip, Cape Farewell, extends down to 59.8 degrees north. This is actually farther south than Reykjavik, Iceland's capital, which sits at 64.1 degrees north. While much of Greenland remains covered in ice, its southern regions, particularly near the coast, experience a more temperate climate during the summer months. Greenland's easternmost point is Norðurströndin, located at 11.3 degrees west. In comparison, Iceland's easternmost point, Geopir, sits at 13.5 degrees west. This means that despite Iceland being farther east overall, Greenland's vast landmass extends slightly beyond Iceland's easternmost reach. Greenland's westernmost point, Cape Alexander, is located at 73.1 degrees west, significantly farther west than Iceland's westernmost point, Bjartanga, at 24.5 degrees west. This makes Greenland extend much deeper into the Western Hemisphere, emphasizing its size and geographical dominance in the region. Greenland's vast range in all four directions highlights its enormous geographical scale compared to Iceland. Although both lands are known for their cold climates and Viking history, Greenland's position gives it a much wider variety of weather conditions, ecosystems, and daylight variations throughout the year. Iceland, in contrast, remains more centrally located in the North Atlantic and enjoys a more moderate climate due to ocean currents. This fun geographical fact serves as a reminder of how size and location influence a country's climate, geography, and even its historical development. Despite being closely associated with the Arctic, Greenland's landmass extends into regions that would be considered subarctic or even temperate, making it one of the most geographically diverse islands on Earth.
The Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth's surface, sitting at approximately 430 meters or 1,410 feet below sea level. Located between Jordan to the east and Israel and Palestine to the west, this hyper-saline lake is one of the most unique natural wonders in the world. Its extreme low elevation makes it a geographical marvel, as no other place on land reaches such depths below sea level. The Dead Sea continues to shrink due to evaporation and water diversion, causing its shoreline to drop even further each year. Why is the Dead Sea so low? The Dead Sea is part of the Jordan Rift Valley, a geological depression formed by the movement of tectonic plates. It lies within the Dead Sea Transform Fault System, where the Arabian Plate and the African Plate are slowly pulling apart. Over millions of years, this rift has caused the land to sink, creating one of the lowest basins on Earth. Unlike oceans and other bodies of water that connect to larger waterways, the Dead Sea has no outlet, meaning water only leaves through evaporation. This contributes to its extreme salinity and the continuous lowering of its surface level. The saltiest body of water. With a salinity of about 34%, the Dead Sea is nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean, making it one of the saltiest bodies of water on the planet. This high salt concentration makes it impossible for most aquatic life to survive, which is how the Dead Sea got its name. The extreme salinity also gives it a famous property, natural buoyancy. People can easily float on its surface without any effort, as the dense water provides greater lift than ordinary seawater. Health and historical significance. The Dead Sea has been renowned for its healing properties for thousands of years. The unique mineral composition of the water, including magnesium, potassium and calcium, is believed to have therapeutic benefits for skin conditions like psoriasis and arthritis. Ancient civilizations, including the Egyptians and Romans, highly valued Dead Sea minerals for medicinal and cosmetic purposes. Even Cleopatra, the famous Egyptian queen, was said to have used Dead Sea products for skincare. Environmental challenges. The Dead Sea is shrinking rapidly due to human activities and climate change. The diversion of water from the Jordan River, which is its main water source, has significantly reduced the amount of fresh water reaching the sea. As a result, the water level is dropping at a rate of more than 1 meter, or 3 feet, per year. Large sinkholes have also begun appearing around the shoreline, posing a risk to infrastructure and tourism. Efforts are being made to preserve the Dead Sea, including discussions about building a canal from the Red Sea or the Mediterranean to restore water levels. A geological and cultural wonder. Beyond being the lowest point on Earth, the Dead Sea is a place of immense historical, religious, and geological significance. It is mentioned in ancient texts, including the Bible, and remains a major attraction for scientists, tourists, and wellness seekers. Its surreal landscape, with its salt-crusted shores and shimmering blue waters, makes it one of the most extraordinary places on the planet. Whether for its natural beauty, unique properties, or historical importance, the Dead Sea remains a remarkable and fragile wonder of the world.
Monaco, the tiny country smaller than Central Park. Monaco, the second smallest country in the world, is famous for its luxury, wealth and grand casinos. But one of its most surprising facts is its tiny size. Just 2.1 square kilometers or 0.81 square miles. This means that the entire country of Monaco is smaller than Central Park in New York City, which spans 3.41 square kilometers or 1.32 square miles. Despite its small size, Monaco is one of the most densely populated and wealthiest nations in the world. A tiny nation packed with luxury. Monaco is located on the French Riviera, bordered by France on 3 sides and the Mediterranean Sea to the south. Despite its size, Monaco is a global hub for high-end tourism, banking and entertainment. It is best known for the Monte Carlo Casino, the Monaco Grand Prix, and its status as a tax haven. The country has a population of around 40,000 people, making it one of the most densely populated places on Earth. With land being incredibly scarce, Monaco has expanded through land reclamation projects, adding more space along the coast. Central Park versus Monaco, a size comparison. Central Park, a large urban park in the heart of Manhattan, is bigger than Monaco in terms of land area, covering 843 acres compared to Monaco's 519 acres. Central Park serves as a green oasis within a bustling city, while Monaco is a densely built-up area filled with skyscrapers, luxury apartments and high-end shops. However, despite being smaller, Monaco functions as an independent sovereign nation, complete with its own government, monarchy and economy, whereas Central Park is simply a section of New York City. Monaco's small size does not limit its global influence. It is famous for attracting billionaires, celebrities and royalty, largely due to its no-income tax policy and luxurious lifestyle. Property prices in Monaco are among the highest in the world, with real estate often selling for over $50,000 per square metre. The country hosts major international events such as the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the most prestigious Formula One races, and the Monaco Yacht Show, attracting the world's elite. Though Monaco is smaller than Central Park, it operates as a fully independent country with a booming economy, an influential cultural scene, and a reputation for extreme wealth and exclusivity. This comparison highlights just how compact Monaco is, proving that size does not determine global impact. Despite its tiny footprint, Monaco remains one of the most glamorous and intriguing places in the world.
Deep in the Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan lies a massive fiery crater known as the Door to Hell. This surreal burning pit, officially called the Darvaza gas crater, has been burning continuously for over 50 years. It is one of the most unusual and eerie natural phenomena in the world, drawing scientists, adventurers, and curious travelers to witness its unearthly glow. The Darvaza gas crater was not a naturally occurring phenomenon. It was actually created by accident in 1971 during a Soviet drilling operation. Soviet geologists were exploring the Karakum Desert for natural gas reserves when they unintentionally punctured an underground gas pocket, causing the ground to collapse. This resulted in a 70-meter, 230 feet wide, and 30-meter, 98 feet deep crater, from which large amounts of methane gas began leaking into the air. To prevent the spread of toxic methane gas, The geologists decided to set the crater on fire, assuming the gas would burn off within a few weeks. However, instead of extinguishing quickly, the fire has continued to burn for over 5 decades, fueled by the vast natural gas reserves beneath the desert. Scientists are still uncertain how much gas remains, or when the flames will eventually die out. Despite its dangerous and eerie appearance, the door to hell has become one of Turkmenistan's most famous tourist attractions. The flames burn day and night, creating an otherworldly glow that can be seen from miles away, especially in the dark. Tourists and explorers travel to the remote site to witness the blazing inferno, making it a symbol of the country's vast and largely untapped natural gas resources. Although the burning crater has fascinated visitors for years, the Turkmen government has expressed concerns over its environmental impact and waste of valuable natural gas. In 2022, Turkmenistan's President Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov announced plans to find a way to extinguish the fire and seal the crater. However, given the crater's history and the difficulty of stopping the underground gas flow, no successful attempt has been made so far. The door to hell remains one of the most bizarre and visually stunning landmarks on Earth. What started as a failed Soviet drilling project has turned into a permanent fire pit, capturing global attention and reminding us of the unpredictable power of nature. Whether it continues to burn for another 50 years or is eventually extinguished, the Darvaza gas crater will remain an extraordinary part of Turkmenistan's landscape and history.
Thank you for watching. We hope these mind-blowing facts left you amazed and inspired. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell because there's plenty more where that came from. Stay curious and we'll see you in the next one.